being one of the coolest, darkest characters of comic books, film and television, you'd have thought that there would have been a string of amazing Batman titles already, but no, not really. In fact, some have been downright awful. Until now, that is. Finally, here is a game that feels right, and not just because the main character is Batman, but because the gameplay is well thought out, varied and interesting. Our story begins with the Caped Crusader, having apprehended his arch nemesis, the Joker, returning him back to his cell at Arkham Asylum. Batman, in his infinite wisdom, smells a rat.
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him.
As usual, he is correct, as the Joker has a plan and has taken over the asylum.
To the madhouse, Batman!
The gameplay is essentially split into a number of distinct styles: exploration, investigation, platforming combat and stealth. It's this dynamic that keeps the game interesting, as you're never really subjected to any single style long enough to grow tired of the game. Combat is simple but satisfying, split across two buttons to either attack or defend. But far from this becoming just a matter of button mashing, the emphasis is put on stringing moves together to create fantastic combinations. The more hits you manage, the more moves Batman will pull out of his locker to dispatch his enemies with vicious grace. But as I said before, there's more to this game than just fighting. Batman has to get to the bottom of the Joker's plan, as well as look after the asylum's innocent inhabitants. And that requires the detective side of Batman's talents. Need to track the kidnapped Commissioner Gordon, while his kidnapper has left his hip flask behind that allows Batman to trace the alcohol in the atmosphere to his location. This is essentially just a mechanic to navigate you from A to B, but by giving it a story element rather than just sticking a dot on the map, it gives the game added depth. The stealth sections are when Batman comes up against armed foes, and unlike other incarnations of the character, this Batman cannot walk through hails of bullets. Quite the opposite. This Batman is actually quite vulnerable, forcing the character to move up to the rafters and pick off his foes quietly in order to stay alive. These sections become progressively difficult throughout the game, but Batman also gains more skills as he goes along, which keeps it entertaining. You are free to roam as you please, and there are lots of Riddler puzzles and bonus items to collect, but the game is mostly a linear affair, and the computer AIs of Joker's goons is far from great, but then I suppose hired goons are meant to be a bit dumb, aren't they? In summary, this is an extremely polished and entertaining title. The character and world design are beautifully made and capture the brooding, gothic atmosphere of the Batman universe perfectly. The storyline is constantly engaging, and the voice acting is top draw, with the brilliant Mark Hamill taking centre stage as the Joker, whose presence is felt with his taunt and maniacal laughter constantly spewing from the asylum's tannoy system. The thought and attention to detail that's gone into this title gives the player the feeling that a lot of love went into making this game. The fact that it's not tied into a movie release has obviously given the studio the time and the freedom to finally create a game based on the Batman universe that's nothing short of special.
My little bat, you're in my world now.